National correspondent for the Tablet and Crux, John Lavenburg, was also among the crowd of marchers. He's just back from Washington, D.C. and joins us now here in the studio. Hi, John.
Hi, Christine. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, John, it seemed like quite a crowd out there, and a lot of people didn't expect that with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and we just saw a lot of young people were marching in that crowd. I know you spoke with some of them. What motivated them to take part in the march?
Well, Christine, you're exactly right. It was a huge crowd, and approaching the start of the march, there weren't as many people, so you'd wonder how many people would come, and then as it started, that crowd really filled in and overtook them all and then went on the march. But as far as young people go, you know, what brought them out was the fact that they're young, so for them, it's just about advocating for mothers and the pregnant mothers. And so for them, you know, Roe v. Wade wasn't something they really focused on. It was just about the mothers, and that's how they're going to continue this fight.
You spoke with some people from the Diocese of Brooklyn as well, right, who have been there in years past.
Absolutely, and so it's funny the difference between young people and older people, how they view it. The older parishioners that I spoke to, they talked about how, you know, they never thought they'd see this day where they'd have a march beyond Roe v. Wade. They really, and them and a lot of others thought it was really the law of the land and it would never change. And so now being here, it was remarkable for them to be experiencing the march beyond Roe v. Wade. But again, the younger people, for them, it's always about pregnant mothers, and that's always what it's been about.
I know you also caught up with Bishop Robert Brennan. What was his message to Catholics?
Bishop Robert Brennan, I've spoken to him a lot about this topic, and including again at the march, and what he's always been consistent about is the need for dialogue on this topic. And in that dialogue for Catholics, it's approaching people that disagree, praying for them first, and then praying on the best way to approach them so that can be done peacefully. And that's how, as he always says, you change hearts and minds.
All right, and there were also some pro-abortion activists out there also. Let's watch some of that video.
Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. I know the scriptures too, people.
You could see in that video some pro-lifers were praying behind them. Did it stay peaceful?
Absolutely, and that's, you know, there weren't a ton of protesters. There weren't any at the mall beforehand, but once you got to the Supreme Court, that's where they were. And those protesters and the marchers, they interacted some. There were some, I would say, heated conversations, but those all resulted in just people going their separate ways. It didn't go beyond that. As you mentioned, there were people that stood there and prayed for the people protesting, but nothing ever turned to anything more, anything that significant.
You're trying to change those hearts and minds right there at the march. Now, talk about next year. Did anybody say anything, what the plans are? Same thing, you know, same time, same place? There
wasn't much discussion about what next year will look like, but what I can say is talking to the younger people there, and you referenced how many young people were out this year. And because for them, the march wasn't really just about overturning Roe v. Wade. It was about, as I said, advocating for pregnant mothers. So for them, it seems like it's going to continue, and that their advocacy is going to continue until they get the laws passed or change the hearts and minds that we talked about as well.
An ongoing fight. National correspondent for the Tablet and Crux, John Lavenburg, thanks so much for your reporting.
Thank you, Christine.
Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.